Civil disobedience is one of the most debated topics of all time, but there is an end goal. Whether you're on the pro side or you are on the side of the cons, your ultimate goal is to go ahead and basically create some kind of change towards the law. That is unanimous. Why we debate about civil disobedience is because it's one way, it's just one of the ways we can go ahead and change the law. And in times of history, it has been proven to work effectively. Most of the time. But setting that aside, let's go ahead and start debating about civil disobedience. The pros basically say that civil disobedience is a pretty important, not very important thing. Well, here's the thing. Actually, they say it is important because, well, the government sucks. They change it every 5 years. And since they change it every 5 years, well, in the US every 4 years, you go ahead and it might just go ahead and ignore some of your realizations, some of your demands for like the whole term. And then particularly in the US, you can be elected twice. So we can have an 8-year term. And so until the end of that term, you might actually have no voice because some governments are actually pretty corrupt. And, well, they are terrible at actually going ahead. People have bad trust in them as well, too. That's why we need civil disobedience, so that we can at least get the government to get their big pointy eye, actually big round eye, on top of us, to go ahead and get a spotlight on us. If we don't, they won't even look or listen to us. Now, the cons basically say, alright, civil disobedience, no, it basically means you're refusing to obey. Alright, that's something a lot of people do, and inevitably some people will hate the law, but the law is there for a reason. The law is there to maintain order. And of course, there's a lot of things. Election of local representatives actually takes place regularly, so government changes pretty frequently. So in Britain, MPs are actually available in surgery with their constituents every week and will always respond to letters and bring matters of concern to the attention of ministers. I feel like I'm reading ChatGPT, but I'm actually reading the pros and cons. Other countries actually have political systems, so actually, given a head, we actually don't need civil disobedience. We don't need to refuse to obey. All we have to do is like go ahead and get other ways to get a spotlight shined on us. And so, what do the pros say about that? Well, there's a lot more to talk about here. Historically, civil disobedience has shown to be effective, as well as being very, very peaceful. I mean, look at Mahatma Gandhi. Well, look at Gandhi. Gandhi himself did civil disobedience, but it was very peaceful. The only violence was from the police who said, alright, you just broke the law, come here, and then beat them up. Now, the cons say this. So peaceful protests are actually possible. Sure, yeah, civil disobedience is peaceful, but then protests are peaceful too, and they are actually kind of legal. Protests are kind of legal, well, according to some laws. And so, of course, yeah, sure, Mahatma Gandhi exists, but then there are also other kinds of protests as well too. MLK went ahead and did all this, and there was no law that actually required stores to go ahead and make black people sit in separate counters. It's just that those stores had those rules. It was not legal by law. It took 3 years to get that sorted out. But then MLK himself went ahead and did a protest. MLK did protest. If you kind of ask me, there's some things that go ahead and do. Here's things too. Peaceful protests are possible, and then it also went ahead and actually gave out rights to things too. The reason why protests turn to violence, well, it's because of stupidness of humans. Alright, the pros say, civil disobedience is a confrontation of literally everything we worked for. Civil disobedience involves public confrontation with authority. If the government won't look at us, we make them look at us by breaking one of their fundamental rules. Once we break that rule, they start looking. Yeah, sure, there'll be a resistance, but we can survive that. And now the cons finally say, there is no excuse in going ahead and provoking violence towards these people. There's no excuse in doing all this as well too. Lots of people are actually going ahead. They're losing their homes. They're losing their cars. They're losing literally everything they lived in. And that's all stupid, just because of civil disobedience. And so, in conclusion, what do you think about civil disobedience? There's not much I can do here because I'm not the jury, so I'll let you guys decide in the comments below. I hope to see you guys soon, and until next time, stay on peace. Bye bye.